everything I'm going to discuss will be pertaining to the financials and the approval thereof, which I believe is item, I don't know.
2 under new business.
2, thank you. Since I know I'm not going to get a response, I'm going to bring out the point that I'm not sure who all is reviewing the legal invoices of this particular institution or this particular agency. But I can only state that when I made a public records request for the invoices, most notably Dow's invoice of December of 2012, this is what I got. It's an 11-page document. I realize the board has alleged that I'm an incompetent CPA, but I would submit to you that if you put this document in front of any CPA, they're not going to have a clue as to know how much to write the check for. No clue. So I'm at a loss as to how this agency paid this document. It's right here for any board member or anyone else who wants to examine it. That's what I got when I made the public records request. It's 11 pages. There's no summation whatsoever. And anybody here that's sitting at this table who can figure out how much the check, I'm at a loss for how Ms. Edmonds could have known how much to write the check for, because I sure can. So that's what I got in response to the public records request. Also pertaining to the legal invoices, Ms. Steinkamp, I think if you go back and look at the film, you were very emphatic with board member Greg Bordelon, who's not here today, that Mr. Bankston could not even answer questions of any kind until that contract got signed. That being the case, I mean, it was very emphatic. Got to make this thing official. Contract's got to be signed. That being the case, I'm somewhat at a loss, which is why I'm going to make other public records requests. Come to find, this is in the financials. It's unquestionably a line item expense in the financials that are legal, the legal expenses. Not only do we find out Mr. Bankston had been put to work on March the 6th, some 64 days prior to that contract being approved, but we even have the payment of his check, which you signed, Ms. Steinkamp, dated April 10th, 2012. Here's 8 copies. I was anticipating more board members being here, but there's copies for anyone to review. So, for there to, be the statement that, well, we have to approve this, it's a little bit amazing that back after the fact and find out somebody approved it long before the board did. It's got your signature on the check. So, I assume you either put it on a show that day or you need it. He'd long since been put to work for the board. And it would also behoove the question of why this wasn't presented at the March LALB meeting. Wait over 60 days, then approve the contract, saying that he can now go to work, when in reality he'd been going to work some 70 days prior to. Now every invoice I've gotten has been redacted. I have contacted the AG's office, and I made another request for unredacted. So be curious to see just what all he was put to work for. Now, I think, how much time do I have? Do I have a whole minute? 1 minute? I'll save some of the other stuff for my own edification. That'll do it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes.
You're quite welcome.